All right. We're going to start city council reports this evening, and our leadoff hitter is Councilmember Kirchner.
You're the mayor. Thank you. So I learned I need to speak up or more often tonight. I do agree that we do need more parks in our city. And as I've mentioned to my colleagues before, I think it's kind of sad that the current Veterans Park that we have is essentially just the side of a levee. In my perfect world, it'd be something a lot nicer than that. So thank you for your comments. I've had a really busy last 2 weeks, and a lot of that was based on our last meeting here with the agenda item 15 and the public that showed up to talk about that. I've been inundated with, and I'm sure you have too, with emails, text messages, and it's exciting to see our community being engaged and being a part of that process and responding to those emails. So that's been fun. I'll start off with mosquito vector. Typically, this point of the year in October is when things slow down. So they're pulling, essentially, they're pulling the traps out of the orchards. We did approve a contract for janitorial service for a 3-year term. Approval purchase for a 1-ton 4-wheel drive pickup cab. We did the quarterly review of the district's defined benefit plan investments. Everything was looking good, so they pushed that back for a couple more months. We did do a closed session to discuss the written findings of the performance review of the district manager, and we're all in agreement that the district manager is doing an exceptional job. And so we're gonna continue honoring the fourth year of his 5-year contract. In addition to that, he's going to be eligible for a 2.5% merit increase from step 6 to step 7 of salary range. The mosquito traps are count is low. No new news on the West Nile front other than that Butte County tends to be the highest in the state for some reason. Moving on to Gilsheiser. We passed an adoption of resolution to become subject to the Uniform Public Cost Accounting Act, MT 3872. The second item was adoption of a resolution authorizing a sphere of influence amendment to accept the annexation of the Newcomb Ranch subdivision into the Gilsheiser County District Drainage District, MT 3882. And what was interesting about that is it's not, it just went out of my head. It's Newcomb Ranch. It's not. Oh, it's the Bogue Stewart. So my thought was we were going to talk about the annexation of the entire Bogue Stewart. What came out of that was it's just the Newcomb Ranch subdivision, and then moving forward, any developers, if they want to be considered, will have to apply for that. So that's what came out of that at that meeting, and. That's all I got.
And thank you for covering that meeting. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Harris, your turn.
Yeah, I have even less. It's been actually been a slow, despite the numerous emails, it's been slow meeting-wise. I did manage to go to the Coffee with a Cop over at Clark Avenue Coffee with our chief and a good chunk of his staff over there. I think it was well attended by the public and also much appreciated by the public. It was a very good event and effective, and I hope there's going to be many more. Regional housing, everything was pretty much routine. It's moving along really well. They've acquired and closed escrow on some property out in Colusa. Going to be constructing some low-income housing out that way. And Sabufka, I was sick that day, but was able to attend virtually. I'm glad that process was in place, and they had a major celebration for a final certification of the 200-year flood protection for our community. And of course, the work continues for the west side of our community as well. And I will let our vice chair of Sabufka elaborate if she would care to. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Espandola, your turn.
Thank you, Councilman Harris. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'll just lead off on the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency. This work has been in process since 2010. It is a huge accomplishment and a moment of celebration that we all gathered together to certify this 200-year flood protection certification. And understanding that 2 or 3 people, or even more, Francis Silva, who passed on, but at 99 was able to, hopefully, he's seen us from another place, the accomplishment that we were able to bring together, Barbara LeVake, Al Motna, Sally Sager, many other local community members pulled together this Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency, JPA, and to be the first in the state for this 200-year flood protection certification is a huge accomplishment and something that we were all very proud of. And yes, we still have to certify and work towards the south end of it. And we also have on the other west side meridian that there's work to be done to continue protecting our levees. So that's a big accomplishment for all of us to share in. I also attended the Regional Water Agency 20th anniversary, a lot of celebrations, it seems, in the area of water or in protection. And that was a really nice event as well. And talking with people about our, how do you say that? Aquifer storage recovery. I'm getting better at these things. I'm going around and talking to people about our storage water underground needs, and it's gonna be raining here hopefully as soon as we leave, or after we get home. And where can we store that water at this point? So those things are really important. And so talking to a lot of people, and there's this number $9 million that keeps popping up about Yuba City needing this, and who knows, gentlemen, we may get there someday. They started in 2010 with Sutter Butte's flood control. So that's a good example to say that we can do that here in our community as well. And then today, attended with our mayor, and I'm not going to get too much into the details of it, but it was really good to be together with our fire chief, Alexander, police chief, Baker, and our city manager, Dave Vaughn, talking about our safety and really kind of bringing up the discussion about concerns and where we're at now and where we're heading in our emergency services. So I thought it was a really great discussion. And the points that I learned from our meeting, Mayor, and I'm sure you'll add to the discussion or share here, the one is inform our community about what we're doing. 2 is training our city staff, making sure that everyone knows their roles, what it is, how to function. And 3rd is these emergency operation centers. How do we function under these operation centers? And so I want to thank everyone for doing the work that we're doing, and it was really informative, and I hope that we can continue this ad hoc committee. There are some really interesting and great ideas and projects and collaboration regionally and within our cities. So those are the main things. And I want to say that I thank the community for giving me your insights, not just on cannabis. Thank you. I have other people talking to me about, wow, it's great to see that there's development happening in the city. And wow, look at the good work that's being done within the homeless area. There's a lot of, and they were upset. There were some folks upset the month before about water rates, but all of a sudden they're really okay with the water rates because they're finding out that these water rates are going to take care of their water and fix some of the treatment in some of their other areas. So it's good to hear a lot of variety of response from the community. And I have always been open to talking with anyone. You want to sit down, have a conversation with me, I'm happy to do that. I'm planning to maybe start a little open hour, office hours in the city, so anyone wants to drop in, you're more than welcome to come and see me. Instead of sending me a text or an email, you can come and actually see me and talk with me, so we can figure these things out together. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Vice Mayor Shaw, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last couple of weeks been all about taxation and the IRS and FTB for me. I get busy over the next 2 weeks. I've got RWMA, Transit, and Cap to Cap next week. Just an update for the upcoming RWMA meeting on Thursday. 3 of the 4 major municipalities have already approved the JPA, and Marysville's the last of the 4 big ones. If they do approve it tonight at their meeting, then the amendment to our standing JPA for Regional Waste Management Authority will be effective basically November 1st. Live Oak is looking to take their action once the new council member is seated when they go through their election up there. But under our authorities, if the 4 majors, that's what has to happen. So Marysville will finish that up tonight, and that's all I have to report.
All right, thank you. Got several things to report out on. First is kudos to the city staff and for the Mayor's Institute. I think that, the folks that have been involved have learned a lot that they probably would have never been exposed to had they not participated. And I think they're going to be able to provide us feedback on how to even make it bigger and better than it was. I've had an opportunity to attend several of the sessions, and you can tell that they're engaged, the folks that are involved, and the staff that's presenting is also engaged in sharing what's going on in their city. So kudos to all of that. I think that, as the city manager mentioned, we have graduation on Thursday. We're also offering the opportunities, kind of like Dave and Mark Unplugged. I'm a little worried about that. Not really, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think it's only fair that those folks who have taken the time out of their day and evenings to attend get to ask us questions. Attended the badge pinning this afternoon for the police department. Thank you, Chief Baker. Exciting to see your crop of leaders emerge. Excited about what's going on over there in the PD, as I am with all the departments. Attended the Sabufka ceremony, and as Councilwoman Espandola mentioned, special thanks to Francis Silva, Barbara LeVake, Sally Serger for being really on the forefront of that. But I also want to make sure, I hate to use the word shout out because it's used too much, or you rock and all that stuff, but there's folks in this room, Diana Langley, I know you and your staff with Public Works have been instrumental. The financial analyst or person from Sabufka specifically called out our finance department for the assistance they've given through the years and taking care of the billing. So there's been past city leaders as well, different folks that have sat up here in this dais that have helped Sabufka, and obviously Almont has been mentioned, and there are many others that need to be notified or noted for their contributions. But to have 200 years of flood protection, and as it was told to us, we're the first area that's got that. That's really significant. I don't think a lot of people probably don't realize that. I had an opportunity by virtue of an invite from our by Brad McIntyre and Maddie LaFawn and Jessica Peters to participate in a Make-A-Wish event for Queen Juliana on Friday. This is a young lady that's had some health problems, and boy, I really want to give a shout out to the staff. They made a special day for a special young lady, and I was very privileged to have the opportunity. As I mentioned, you may have read, there's a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily warm and fuzzy when you're a city council person. So it's those moments when you have that opportunity to share in those that I think are really neat. So Gil Sizer, again, thank you, Councilperson Kirchner, for sitting in there. I had a last minute business thing that was going on. I had an opportunity or was invited to record a piece for the upcoming Community Hero Awards that United Way is putting on. So that'll be coming up here shortly, just on our behalf. Thank these folks that they're going to recognize for their contributions to the community. I know, Sean, you did that in the past as well. LAFCO meeting was canceled. As Councilwoman Espandola mentioned, we had a very engaged and good meeting on the status of emergency planning here in the city. I'm very, very confident in Chief Brian Baker, Chief Jesse Alexander, and the efforts they're leading in trying to catch up and get our city back to a place where we can do the very best that's possible for our citizens should an emergency occur. Kudos to the city manager and the rest of the staff and the department heads for making it a priority. These things, as I mentioned in the meeting, have a tendency to be kind of roller coastery. You know, there's an event and everybody gets all energized, and then it kind of falls away. And what we're trying to do is get level set here and do a really good job for the people that we serve. Other than that, I think that's all. I would like to close this meeting in memory of Mike Sanchez. Judy Sanchez is a valuable member of our team. She supports us. She supports the city, and her husband unfortunately passed here several weeks ago, and this was I'd like to close this meeting tonight in his memory. Thank you.